What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with reactions to the classics, and today we've got a fun one. Tom Petty, Full Moon Fever, his debut solo album, brought to us by our friend and longtime supporter of the channel, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Always appreciate you, and always appreciate all our patrons. They keep this thing going. We put up videos every single day. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out the Patreon link below, or on the end screen, click on the Patreon link. All right, let's jump into this a little bit. We've got a couple reactions up to Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, but we've never done a solo album. And I have never heard this album in full. I know some of the songs on here for sure, but I've never listened to the entire album. And as I mentioned, his debut solo album came out in April of 1989 on MCA Records. Features contributions from members of his band, the Heartbreakers, notably Mike Campbell, as well as Jeff Lynne, Roy Orbison, who died prior to its release, and George Harrison, of course, Tom's bandmates in the Traveling Wilburys. This shows Petty exploring his musical roots with nods to his influences. Songwriting is mainly Petty and Jeff Lynne. I'll let you know when it's not just those two guys or when Petty just does something alone. And Lynne also was a producer on this album. Went to 3 in the U.S., 5 times platinum in the U.S., 6 times platinum in Canada, and it's 298 on Rolling Stone's most recent 500 greatest albums of all time. How this came about: Tom had finished earlier in 1987 a tour behind the Heartbreakers album, Let Me Up, I've Had Enough. He decided to record this solo album without the Heartbreakers. This stirred some controversy among members of the Heartbreakers, although all of them, except for drummer Stan Lynch, do contribute in this album. The recording process, most of which happened in 1988, was just a low-key affair, right? He had many of his friends contributing, including the members of the Traveling Wilburys, minus Bob Dylan. Recorded mainly in the relaxed atmosphere of Mike Campbell's garage studio. Petty would later say it was the most enjoyable record of his career, which I wonder what the Heartbreakers thought of that statement. And a recording of this was actually interrupted partway through so they could do the Wilburys' first album. All music headed at 4.5 out of 5. Pitchfork 8.1 out of 10. As I said, all tracks are written by Tom and Jeff Lynne, unless I tell you otherwise. Let's jump to the first track. This thing starts out on fire. We got Free Fallin', one of my favorite songs of this time period. This features Jeff Lynne on backing vocals and bass guitar. They wrote and recorded it in only 2 days, and it was the first song they did for the album. It's Petty's highest and longest charting single, went to 7 in the US, 179 on the Rolling Stones 500 Greatest Songs of All Time. And of course, if you're a California person or been there before, you know the lyrics are kind of just a run through of California stuff, especially the San Fernando Valley region of LA. We have Reseda, the 101, Ventura Freeway, the Valley, Ventura Boulevard, Mulholland, just to name a few. And Tom actually explained in an interview with Billboard that he and Jeff were sitting around trying to come up with a song, and Jeff got him to say Free Falling. The next day they went and recorded the song. He didn't write it about any person, Tom said, but instead what he saw on his frequent drives along Ventura Boulevard, right? Sometimes the most simple things make for the best song, right? You don't have to overthink it. I will not have the songs in this, but check out the Vimeo link below. You can watch along, listen along with me. It's a nice little album, only 38 minutes long. I love the lyrics up. Once again, thank you, Mark. The iconic Free Fallin'. I don't need to break down the lyrics here, right? They're what I talked about. We're just taking a walk kind of down Ventura Boulevard and around the Valley area there in LA. But man, what a freaking good song, right? You just want to sing it out every time you hear it, Free Fallin'. Another interesting fact about this song, Tom brought it to the record label and they actually rejected this song. So he said he just waited 6 months, brought it back, and then they loved it. Man, the record business, what are you going to do, right? One other thing about this song, there's another version of this song. There's probably several versions of this song, but there's a version of the song that's really good by the great Stevie Nicks. My beautiful bride, Gina, actually prefers the Stevie Nicks version. It becomes a little point of debate and contention among us because even though the Stevie one is great, this one is phenomenal. Now we're up to another classic, I Won't Back Down. The lead single went to 12 in the US, 28 in the UK. Tom recalled the recording of this song to Mojo Magazine. He said, quote, "At the session, George Harrison sang and played the guitar. I had a terrible cold that day, and George went to the store, bought a ginger root, boiled it, and had me stick my head in the pot to get the ginger steam to open up my sinuses. And then I ran in and did the take." I just read that and think, can you imagine being at the store, standing in line and look behind you and there's George Harrison holding the ginger root? That would have been surreal. All right, due to this themes, the song was played a lot after the 9/11 attacks here in the States. In the 2007 documentary Running Down a Dream, Tom said he felt some initial hesitation about releasing the song, given its clear and unabashed message. I'll have a quote from Tom in just a minute. But in January 2015, this song, they came to an agreement because Sam Smith's song, this very famous Stay With Me, kind of sounds a lot like this. Tom was totally cool about it. He said Sam and his people were great. Sam said he'd never even heard this song. It was just a coincidence. But if you know that story, just a little bit on that. We got Mike Campbell on slide, the great George Harrison on acoustic and backing vocals, and Jeff Lynne on bass and backing. But Tom actually said about this song in 2006, he says, the song frightened me when I wrote it. I didn't embrace it at all. It's so obvious. I thought it wasn't that good because it was so naked. So I had a lot of second thoughts about recording that song, but everyone around me liked the song and said it was really good. It turns out everyone was right. More people connect to that song than anything I ever wrote. I've had so many people tell me that it helped them through this, or it helped them through that. I'm still continually amazed about the power a little 3-minute song has. It's great. Let's check it out. I Won't Back Down. What a fantastic song, right? There's not even a ton of lyrics to it, but the lyrics that there are so powerful. The instrumentation's so great. He starts out, well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. What a freaking line, right? No, I'll stand my ground, won't be turned around, and I'll keep this world from dragging me down. I'm going to stand my ground, and I won't back down. And then you get into that chorus that I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Verse 2, well, I know what's right. I just got one life in a world that keeps on pushing me around, but I'll stand my ground and I won't back down. And then just the harmonizing of the rest of these choruses. These first two songs are two of my favorite Petty songs of all time, right? You got to throw American Girl and a few other things in there for me. But Free Fall and I Won't Back Down are incredible. It's funny. I know these songs, as you probably saw me singing along with them. Then we get to songs that I don't know at all, that I've never heard. So now we're going to track number 3. We got Love Is a Long Road. This one was actually written by Tom and Mike Campbell, who, plays guitars and all kinds of other stuff in this. He was also one of the producers and one of the engineers. So this man put in the work. Might as well give him a songwriting credit. Let's check it out. Love Is a Long Road. We have the great Jim Keltner on this one on drums, tambourine, and maracas, the underrated maracas. So in this song, he starts out, there was a girl I knew. She said she cared about me. She tried to make my world the way she thought it should be. Yeah, we were desperate then to have each other to hold. And then the chorus, but love is a long, long road. Verse 2, there were so many times I would wake up at noon, with my head spinning around. I would wait for the moon, so we'd wait till nighttime and give her one more chance to try and save my soul. Yeah, it was hard to give up. Some things are hard to let go. Some things are never enough. I guess I can only hope for maybe one more chance to try and save my soul. So it wasn't working out with the girl, but he's holding on to hope that it will, because, man, if you've ever been in love or are in love, you know that love is a long, long road. Very well put. Love the guitar work on this. A nice one. It's weird, coming off 2 songs that I absolutely love, to hear a song that I don't know. It's almost hard to go like, what do I think of this song, because the other 2 are so phenomenal. But it's a good song. Now we're going to go to the 4th single, A Face in the Crowd. Went to 46 in the U.S. I don't think I know this song, but maybe I do, since it was a single released in 1989. I also found it interesting. It's covered by a lot of people, but it's covered by Kathleen Edwards. Have a lot of her stuff up, courtesy of Mark, the patron that brought us this. And also Spoon have a lot of their stuff up. Actually have a Spoon Top 10, also brought to us by Mark. So I thought there was a nice little connection there. Let's check this one out. A Face in the Crowd. This song was so well done, right? Because it has a different vibe to it than anything we've had on here so far. He's singing to this girl that before all this ever went down in another place, another town, you were just a face in the crowd, out in the street, walking around, out of a dream, out of the sky, into my heart, into my life. It's weird, but those people who we love or might spend the rest of our lives with, or significant time with, it's weird the longer you're with someone to think of a time where I didn't know you, or the first time I met you, or like how we were going to be together, but no one knew it and we didn't know it. It's just that's kind of what this delves out. But what it does a really good job of, Tom's delivery is a little different in this. It's perfect for this song, and the instrumentation is scaled back, yet the guitar work is still fantastic, which I'm going to expect throughout on this album. But really did enjoy that song, and I had never heard this song. I can see why back in 1989 it didn't do that great on the charts, went to 46, but that was the year I graduated from high school. And what the heck did we know in 1989 about good music? Not a whole lot. All right, now we're going to go to a song that I'm very familiar with, Running Down a Dream. This one was written by Tom, Jeff, and Mike Campbell. Second single, went to 23 in both the US and the UK. It's a nod to Tom's musical roots. He even has the lyric, me and Del were singing Little Runaway, making a reference, of course, to Del Shannon's Runaway. But I know this one very well, and it is the longest track on this album. Running Down a Dream. I mentioned it during the reaction. I mean, it's all about the guitar work on this song. This song, the guitar work is next level. Not only the electric, but the acoustic, that strumming in there really sticks in the head. I'm sure it's Mike Campbell shredding it on the electric, but also I'm sure Tom's giving an assist here. The song itself, it's what we were talking about in the beginning. Like the first verse, it's a beautiful day, the sun beat down, I had the radio on, I was driving. Trees went by me and Del were singing Little Runaway, I was flying. Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me, working on a mystery, going wherever it leads, running down a dream. So the song is built around I'm driving down the road searching for that thing that I've never been able to find. The bridge, I rolled on, the sky grew dark. I put the pedal down to make some time. There's something good waiting down this road. I'm picking up whatever's mine. So chasing that dream, and he uses it in the context of I'm in this car and I'm going. Really enjoyable song. Now we're going to move to the B side. So there's 5 songs on the A side, 7 on the B side, just because the songs on the B side aren't quite as long. The first song, we're going to start off the B side with Feel a Whole Lot Better, which is a song originally by the Byrds, written by the great Gene Clark. It was first released in June of 1965 as a B-side, and it was on the Byrds' debut album, of course, Mr. Tambourine Man. The Byrds version is the Rolling Stone 234 on their list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. The only cover on this album. Let's check it out. Wow, Feel a Whole Lot Better. What a great song. I mentioned it during the reaction, but I don't think my mic picked it up. I know this song. I didn't know that I knew it. I've heard it a few times, the Byrds version, but wow, Tom sounded great. I don't know if that was a vocal treatment or he sounded great on here, and the guitar work was fantastic as usual. They kept it true to the Byrds version. You got to put some good guitar work down. And obviously, this girl must have cheated on this man. The reason why, I can't say. I had to let you go, baby, and ride away. After what you did, I can't stay on, and I'll probably feel a whole lot better when you're gone. A great diss track tied up in this beautiful melody. Baby, for a long time, you had me believe that your love was all mine, and that's the way it would be. But I didn't know that you were putting me on, and I'll probably feel a lot better when you're gone. Now, I got to say, it's not like before, and I'm not going to play your games anymore. After what you did, I can't stay on, and I'll probably feel a whole lot better when you're gone. What a great way to kick off the B-side or side 2, whichever you prefer for this album. Now we're going to go to the 5th single, You're So Bad. I do know this song as well. It tells from the singer's viewpoint about his greedy sister being lucky enough to marry a yuppie, then got divorced and took the yuppie for all he was worth in the proceedings, and is now a swinger dating another singer while her ex-husband is unable to find a new partner, is possibly bankrupt, and is contemplating suicide by the line, head in the oven. Wow, quite the build-up. Let's check it out. You're So Bad. I knew this song, right? It's such a good song. Once again, I'm a broken record. That guitar work, it's the acoustic along with the electric. Like, there's all kinds of blends of guitar work in here. You're having 12-string Rickenbackers throughout this album. You just have great stuff going on here. But he's talking about the first verse, my sister got lucky, married a yuppie, all that good stuff. Then the chorus, but not me, baby, I've got you to save me. So he's writing to this girl, oh, you're so bad, best thing I ever had, in a world gone mad, you're so bad. So if you didn't know what this song was about, he doesn't mean she's bad. As bad as good. Like, oh man, that's bad, dude. Like, you're so bad. That means she's so great. Then talks about the ex-husband with the head in the oven. But the chorus, the way he sings it, hits that different pitch and tone in his voice is so fantastic, man. One of my favorite songs so far. Even though I knew it, I didn't know it as well as Free Fallin' or I Won't Back Down. Now we're going to move on to a song that only Tom wrote. We got Depending on You. Depending on You. Jeff Lynne with some nice backing vocals here. I thought this was a really good song as well. Short and sweet, but a lot of lyrics to it. He said, I'm never going to let you down. All you got to do is trust me. I would never make you some clown. Baby, why don't you trust me? You give up so easily. I don't know why you can't see. I'm depending on you. Don't let me down. I'm depending on you. And he says, if you can't change the world, maybe you should just change yourself. You used to be such a sweet young girl. why you want to be someone else. So he's probably not going to score points here calling her out on that, but then he gets into that "you give up so easily" lines again, and then "I'm dependent on you." Really sticks in the head. Once again, just solid instrumentation. Now we're going to go to the Apartment song, written only by Tom. Features an instrumental break with paradiddle drumming reminiscent of Buddy Holly's Peggy Sue. We got the great Benmont Tench on piano on this one. Let's check it out. The Apartment song. Cool little song, right? 2.5 minutes long. Love the instrumentation. Tom sounds like he's having fun with it. I used to live in a 2-room apartment, neighbors knocking on my wall. Times were hard. I don't want to knock it. I don't miss it much at all. I'll tell you what, I've lived in several apartments over my lifetime. Thankfully not for quite some time. But man, really wasn't all that much fun. But shout out to everybody who's living the apartment, living life. You're at such the mercy of who's above you and below you and beside you. But then he goes, oh yeah, I'm all right. I just feel a little lonely tonight. It's okay. Most of the time I just feel a little lonely tonight. Then he segues out from the apartment to the girl. Well, I used to need your love so badly, and I came to live with it. Lately, I get a faraway feeling. The whole thing starts again. Then he goes into the whole chorus again. And great drumming in there. Just great guitar work. Really enjoyed that one. Now we're up to All Right for Now, which was written only by Tom. All Right for Now. It's a little 2-minute song on the dot, and that's 2 minutes with the little false start when Tom kicks it off again. Tom's doing the vocals and the guitar, and then Mike Campbell's in there also on the guitar. You got Lynn on bass and those backing vocals, and then Tom does the drums and percussion. Just a sweet little song. I wonder if it's not autobiographical, writing it to his wife or significant other. He says, "Good night, baby. Sleep tight, my love. May God watch over you from above. Tomorrow I'm working. What would I do? I'd be lost and lonely if not for you. So close your eyes. We're all right for now. I spent my life traveling, spent my life free. I cannot repay all you've done for me. So sleep tight, baby. Unfurl your brow and know I love you. We're all right for now." That's the whole song, but I had to read that. That was a great songwriting. To me, it's Tom going back out on the road and he's singing this to his wife, but heck, that could totally be wrong. I have no idea. I couldn't find any research on the song, but it seems about right to me. And, she's been faithful and there for him through it all. I cannot repay you for all that you've done. Just a sweet little song. Now we're going to go to the next to the last song. We got A Mind with a Heart of Its Own. Uses a Bo Diddley style rhythm. So let's check it out. A Mind with a Heart of Its Own. Good little song. My least favorite so far, but something has to be my least favorite. It just tells this little story about the mind with a heart of its own. Well, the man out to end us had a hurricane business. He'd raised them from babies all by himself, but his teenage accountant had become surrounded. He drank up the party and everyone left. Just kind of a weird line there. So I don't know exactly what he's talking about in this song, but it's a fun little instrumental dive, at least. And at the end of verse 3 says, "My middle name is Earl." It's one of those weird things. His middle name was Earl. So that one was fine for me. Like I said, least favorite, but not a bad song. Now we're going to finish this off with Zombie Zoo. This is the one we got Roy Orbison on backing vocals, along with Kelsey Campbell. So it's got to be either Mike's wife or maybe even his daughter. Let's finish this thing out. Zombie Zoo. I read that Tom wrote this after he visited a nightclub and was shocked at the way the 18-year-old girls were acting there. At the end of verse 1, that kind of tells you that. "Hey, little freak with the lunch pail purse. Underneath the paint, you're just a little girl dancing at the Zombie Zoo. Painted in a corner, and all you want to do is dance down at the Zombie Zoo." Then he asks her if she's a dropout, if her mom works in a clinic, if her dad has a job. "Sometimes you're so impulsive, you shade off all your hair." And then she disappears at sunrise. I wonder where she goes until the night comes falling down again. You show up with your friends half alive. And then the bridge, where you can make a big impression or go through life unseen. You might wind up restricted and over 17. It's so hard to be careful, so easy to be led. Somewhere beyond the pavement, you'll find the living dead. And just a fun little song. It's only a little under 3 minutes long, but really enjoyed that one. A good way to finish. So now we're going to get to my favorite tracks, and that one is going to be pretty tough. It's weird, like I said, I know 4 of these songs, so it's hard for those not to be up there. So I got to go with Free Falling, and I Won't Back Down, too, like I said, of Petty's best songs in his entire catalog. I'm going to also go with You're So Bad. I don't know that I cared for that song in 1989. I really appreciate it now. And then, man, I don't know. There's so many of these songs are so good. We'll go with The Face in the Crowd, and let's throw in Depending on You. But really, almost all of these songs you could throw in there. And now we come to my overall score. You know, it's 12 tracks. I'd probably shave 2 of these tracks off. Trey and I always talk about 10 tracks is kind of the sweet spot, but still a phenomenal album. On first listen, at least for most of the album, it's first listen, I'm going to be at an 8.25. You can probably even push me to an 8.5. I love Tom, and this is Tom firing on all cylinders. I like the little throwbacks to his musical inspirations because it makes the album quite diverse. But any album that has Free Fallin' and I Won't Back Down, it's pretty hard for it to be a bad album. And it starts out with those 2 tracks, but it does not disappoint. I was very impressed with this. Thank you, Mark, as always, for what you bring. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below. And until next time, guys, I will see you.